Hello, just good Eurobricks here, back for another review, and today I'm reviewing my first 2014 LEGO Legends of Chima Speedorz set, and this is called the Stinger Duel. Now this has 93 pieces, 2 minifigures, and retails for $20 in the United States. This is set number 70140, and it is recommended for ages 7 to 14. And it is part of the LEGO Legends of Chima March 2014 line in the United States, but this was actually released in like December, January of the rest of the world, I guess, because like Europe had an early release for this. So North America is really getting this late. And of course it's already like mid-February, so that's kind of when it's starting to show up, but it's intended for a March release. So now let's take a look at the packaging. Okay, so here's the packaging for the set, and you can see that they did update the packaging for these 2014 sets, and they did excellent because this was actually surprisingly really easy to open. All you have to do is take off the tape from the bottom, then you open these flaps right here. So it only took me like, what, a minute to open, which is perfect. And you can see it's actually really detailed. I do like it because they have both faces right there. So basically what they used to have with the $20 sets. And they don't like flash all the pieces out, which they don't need to. I don't know why they did that in the first place because it just made it harder to open. And you can see on the back right here, it kind of shows build, race, and win. Shows a little combination model right there, and it shows the Speedorz. So that is really cool. And you do get one instruction booklet, which is right here. Shows how to play the game and stuff like that. It also shows an advertisement for this Chima Online thing. It's the minifigures for this year. And then an advertisement for what looks to be an app or something like that. So now on to the cards. So here are the cards. Since this is a $20 set, you do get 10 cards. And the first card is Scolder, Venomore, Toxinator, Night Stinger, Venomore, Shadowind, Shadowar Maximus, Awakener, Darkor Defendor, and Fangius. And actually the material of these feel a little bit different than last year's, which is pretty good. They feel a little bit more sturdier, I guess you could say, because last year's was really flimsy and cheap cardboard, it feels like. But for some reason, these feel a lot better, so that is actually really cool. Now on to minifigures. So here is Shadowind, and he is also known as Lavartis in the show because what happens, from what I read, is that later on, he reveals himself to be this banished lion or something from the Outlands, which is called Lavartis. But if you remember, I watched up to the point where we just started to get to know Shadowind, because I stopped watching the show midway through the first season, and I said that Shadowind is a really cool looking minifigure and that I can't wait to get him in a set. Well, we did get him in a set, but we didn't get his mask, which is extremely disappointing if you ask me. While Lavartis' face and little headpiece does look cool, I just really wish they would have included the Shadowind mask. And I think it would have sold much better, but I understand why they didn't because, you know, new molds cost a lot of money, but it's just really disappointing. You know, I really wish they would have. You also get these two little weapons right here, which this is one brick built one. Nothing interesting if you ask me. Then you get this one right here, which looks a little bit like a scythe. But when you get onto the minifigure, like I said, his torso and leg printing looks really excellent. It's some of the best I've seen all year. So that's really cool, extremely detailed. And his back printing is extremely detailed too. Those only come in this set. But his face and his mask piece, as I say, but you know, it's not a mask piece, it's just an extended part of his headpiece, but it's basically a mask. Those come in two other sets, which are Lavartis' two other sets, which are Lavartis' Twin Blade and Lavartis' Outland base. So they're not exclusive to the set, unlike the torso and the legs. If you take that off, you can see his face printing right there. He does have a double-sided face, which is pretty cool. I like how they do that with Chima, even though they don't need to. Whereas that side of face too, where he's kind of grinning like that. So, verdict, I really wish they would have included that mask piece instead of just including this animal head piece, which is found in two other sets. It would have made the set much more unique, and like I said, it looks really cool, but that's kind of a flaw if you ask me. Now to the next figure. So here is Scolder, and you can see he actually has some really cool torso and leg printing. And his mask in this color, I think he's the only one where his mask, I know it's not a mask, but it's an extension of his head, but I call it the mask. His mask in this color does not look bad at all, which I think the other two, I think it was, because it's like two other scorpions or something, don't look really good because their colors are weird, but I think in this kind of silverish color, gun silver color, it doesn't look bad at all. So he's probably the best looking of the scorpions, and you can see his torso printing and his leg printing is very detailed, and as goes for his back printing right there. He does come with two weapons, One is this thing right here, which I have no idea what it is. It's like a wand or something. And then this one's just kind of that stick piece. It's literally nothing else to it. It's just the piece. So not really exciting with the weapons, but I don't really buy the sets for the weapons. And you can see, if you take off his mask, as I call it, he has no back facial printing, which is a little bit disappointing. And his face printing is the same that's found on the other Scorpions. So that's kind of disappointing. But the rest of his minifigure, like his torso and his legs, is really cool. So now on to the Speedorz. So here are the Speedorz. You have one for Scolder and you have one for Shadowind. The first one I'll take a look at is Shadowind. You can see his has this very nice black coloring all over it. It's rare that you see a Speedorz with black coloring. And he has some nice gold finish on it. And he has some nice red finishing for this little flame right here, which looks great. So it is a really cool looking Speedorz. I do really like this one. And he does have this back little rocket right here, which is an accessory. They actually used rocket accessories in 2013, so it's not really new. But to be honest, I'm going to start taking off accessories for my Speedorz because they just really get in the way and they get lost. But other than that, you can see Shadowind fits in there really well, and you guys know how this works. You just kind of have to take it off like that and then take off the minifigure and put them on. If you want to put them on, you put them on like that, and then you close off the little crown right there. And it does come with a ripcord, which the ripcord is that blue color. And you can see right here. And how you work these Speedorz, if you've never seen them before, you just stick them in that part right there. And you pull it out and you pull back and then they fly up. So that is really, really cool. I love the Speedorz things. Ripping Speedorz never gets old. So there you go right now. Since I have this kind of sloped background, they can now kind of do like wheelies up and stuff like that. But next Speedorz is Scolder's, and Scolder has a red ripcord, and his Speedorz has this new kind of frame right here, which is for what they use for spiders and scorpions. And I don't know, I don't really like how they use this. I mean, it's good that they're making new crown molds and stuff like that, but they could have put the money to make a helmet mold for Shadowind. But nevertheless, like I said, I don't really like them because for some reason, you can only really put the accessories on the front, like right up here, and it's super hard to get them in, and then you can't put them down anymore, which makes sense because they won't get in the way when they're like moving around. But in that sense, I don't know, without the accessories, they look really clunky, and even with the accessories, they look clunky. So like I said, as it's nice that they're making new crown molds, I could have really gone without a new crown mold for these spiders, considering that we're getting like completely new Speedorz styles in the summer. But you can see this one has this little printing on the front right there, which has these eyes, has this silver, gun silver kind of coloring, which is the same that's found on Scolder. And it has this tail attachment right here, which this tail piece is new for 2014 Chima sets. So that's really nice, and you can take that off and stuff like that. And you guys know you could just take off the little crown like that, just take out the minifigure, and you put them on like that, and everything fits well and stuff. And they're really made out of good, like, quality plastic, which I really do like, because some of the spinners for Ninjago weren't made out of good plastic, and it really got in the way, and they started to chip and stuff like that. But this is actually made out of good plastic, and if you put the little ripcord in this hole, which you guys know that's how all little Speedorz work, and you pull it out like that. There you go. I can't really get it to go far. And since the build is so small, I could just take a look at the build right now. This is literally the build of the set, which is extremely disappointing if you ask me. Like, there's really, I don't know why they didn't add like a bigger build. I guess the simpler the better, because this game is extremely simple. You can see the build right here has this piece, which is actually quite a rare piece. It came in Unexpected Gathering, the Speedorz or the Chima board game, and it came in that set we will not mention, the Chima accessory pack. But this is the cheapest way to get it at the moment, because to be honest, I'm pretty sure the Speedorz accessory pack is like sold out everywhere, but nobody brought that, so it started going for $3. So that would be really the cheapest way to get it. But I'm pretty sure it's sold off of Shop at Home at the moment. I'm not entirely sure. If it isn't, then that's really funny. But you can see the detail on here. It looks a little bit like a scorpion, I guess, with the eyes in the front and these little pinchers right here. And yeah, that's really it. They use this piece, which is found in Hero Factory sets, so that's pretty cool to get it in a non-Hero Factory set. It's also found in another Chima set for this year. But like I said, that's really all of the build. You can see the bottom right there. So it does look a lot like a scorpion. And what you have to do, you just leave that little hoop right there. And whoever hits the hoop down first gets to, you know, flip their card and basically wins the game. So that's basically the game of this Speedorz set. So let's see if I can knock it over and pick it up. Ugh. There we go, and I would win, but I need somebody else to play with me to see if it would work or whatnot. So that's really it for this build, and now onto the final verdict. Okay, I forgot to mention this, but you do get, of course, 12 crystals, like always with these $20 Speedorz sets. But what did I think of this set? Well, while I was initially really disappointed with this set, and I still am, I think that it is actually a solid set. I do really like the minifigures. Like I said, it's just so disappointing and it's so ridiculous that we don't get a new mask mold, or yeah, mask mold for Shadowind, because that would have been so much cooler, and they could have done it. I mean, it just really ticks me off once I think about it. But like I said, the minifigures are really cool, and you do get 2 exclusive minifigures in a sense, because this version of Levartis only comes in this set, which is a Shadowind version, and Scolder only comes in this set. So that's cool, and they're both very nice looking. Like I said, their torso printing is extremely detailed, and their leg printing is extremely detailed and really cool looking. Both for their Speedorz. While I like Shadowind Speedorz a lot, I think it's probably one of the best Speedorz out there. I don't really like Scolder Speedorz, but the value for this set is like, it's 92 pieces, I believe, or sorry, 93 pieces for $20. So it isn't the greatest value if you ask me. But like I said, you do get 2 exclusive minifigures who look great, and the build itself is really small, but we do get a few interesting pieces like that Hero Factory piece and this little circular clear trans piece right there. So overall, I'd rate this set a B. I think it's probably the best of the Speedorz just looking at it, but that's not really good if the best is a B set. So that's it for this review, and I will see you guys later. Bye.